Excel is one of the strangest success stories in business software history. I hesitate to call it a business analytics platform, yet I know for millions of people, especially accountants and finance teams, it is the weapon of choice. Excel is the Swiss Army knife of business analytics, and many believe it is irreplaceable. Excel is the crown jewels of the Microsoft Office suite, and that combination is exactly what makes Excel so weird, so powerful, and so dangerous. Excel didn't win because it was architectured as a rigid analytic system. It won because it let people turn ambiguity into numbers faster than anything else. Spreadsheets existed before Excel. VisiCalc, which was originally for the Mac, proved the concept. Lotus 1-2-3 made that mainstream in the DOS era. Excel then rode a set of waves that made it unstoppable, the PC in every office. Excel won because of Microsoft's aggressive bundling strategy, which crowded out the competition, particularly in the enterprise market. Microsoft Office made it ubiquitous by default, and file-based portability let people email files easily. Limited programming through formulas and Visual Basic gave users an element of control that they had been lacking. And over time, Excel stopped being software and became the default tool for many tasks, even if there were much better tools available, because for the most part, it's good enough. Modern analytics depends on hard principles: a single source of truth, governed semantics, reproducible logic, auditability, scalability, and safe collaboration. Excel doesn't do any of these. It optimizes for personal freedom. And that freedom is genius, but it's also a critical flaw. Excel is exceptional for individual thinking and local modeling, but it's not designed to hold organisational truth. And that's why accountants love it and why they are right to love it. Accountants operate in a world of deadlines, reconciliations, exceptions, and edge cases. Excel matches that reality. It's fast to iterate, and the feedback loop is instant. The logic is visible, at least to the person who built it. Models can be patched under pressure, and files can be shared without infrastructure. When the business demands answers now, not after a model redesign, Excel delivers. Excel feels irreplaceable because it fills the gap between systems. ERPs are rigid, BI dashboards are tightly controlled and slow to change, data warehouses are difficult to operate, planning platforms are expensive. So Excel becomes a universal adapter in the middle. In many organisations, Excel is not just a tool, it's the operating system for decision making, and that's why it persists. And that's why it's also becoming the quiet source of hidden fragility. Excel's real risk is not that it lacks capability, it's that it doesn't scale. There is no single source of truth. Two spreadsheets can be equally correct and completely different. Logic is buried inside cells, meaning is implicit, and small structural changes can silently alter results. Error rates rise with complexity. Broken ranges, copy-paste drift, hard-coded values, and silent settings accumulate. Governance and auditability is weak. When a number is challenged, investigation becomes forensic, not systematic. Collaboration turns into version management, and security is an afterthought, so performance collapses under real scale. Excel doesn't cause these problems, yet it makes them easy to ignore until they matter. Widespread Excel use becomes especially dangerous because content and structure are tightly bound. In proper analytic systems, data, logic, and presentation are separated. In Excel, they're fused into one object. Numbers, formulas, layouts, assumption, helper columns, manual overrides, charts, commentary, and formatting all live together. That's convenient for one person, but it's disastrous for an organisation. And that's what happens at scale. Someone tweaks a range, breaks a dependency, and the output still looks plausible. Excel does not fail loudly, it fails politely. So against this backdrop, it's obvious that embedding Copilot inside Excel is a severe category error. Excel is deterministic. The same inputs produce the same outputs, and trust is built through repeatability. Copilot is non-deterministic. It produces probabilistic outcomes based on interpretation. The same prompt can yield different results. Both have value, but mixing them together breaks the mental contract that users rely on when working with numbers. Copilot can summarize an email and write poetry, but people have already seen that it struggles with basic arithmetic, aggregation logic, and edge cases. Not because it's broken, but because it was never designed to be a math engine. Excel already has a perfectly good one. So adding a non-deterministic layer on a fragile object is a recipe for disaster. When something goes wrong, accountability fractures. Was it bad data, bad formulas, bad prompts, or just a bad model? You are no longer debugging formulas, and this is unacceptable in environments where numbers carry real consequences. Excel is brilliant. It deserves the status as one of the most influential pieces of business software ever created. But the belief that holding on to Excel as a core analytical tool is safe, necessary, or inevitable is just wrong. Personally, I think letting everyone inside an organization use Excel is a terrible idea. It locks decision-making into a file-based paradigm which belongs to the 1980s. Excel will always have a place as a personal modeling tool and an instrument for finance professionals. But if you build your analytics future around it, you are accepting a limitation which restricts you to a two-dimensional view of the world. And no amount of AI bolted onto a spreadsheet will ever fix that. In the next episode, I'll cover Microsoft Power BI, which was at least to some extent a way to address some of these limitations. And here's where we start to see the introduction of semantic layers, which are an attempt at providing AI models such as Copilot with a little bit more contextual information. But this too is inherently flawed, and it will not scale well enough to be useful at an enterprise level. If you're enjoying these videos, please subscribe to the channel so you can be notified whenever a new video is published.